All right, happy Wednesday to you all. Hump day. News today. Trying to figure out how to broach the topic. You guys will have seen it by now, probably. RideWithAlex just made his announcement about his participation in the 2025 Scooter Cannonball. That's something that's been kind of brewing in the background for the last month or so between he and I. We were keeping it quiet until he knew whether he was going to be able to do it or not. So I waited for him to make his announcement before I said anything. Don't want to steal his thunder or anything like that. So he's planning to come to the United States for the 2025 Scooter Cannonball, and he's going to ship his Sim, was it ST200? I'll put the model up here if I got that wrong. But he's got a Sim. Donnie is the scooter's name. So he's shipping that to the United States in a container to my house, or to a local shipping port, and then I'll pick it up and bring it here. And he's going to ride that across the country with me, all the way from Houston, Texas, up to Oregon to start the 2025 Cannonball, and then all the way back down here to South Padre. So he's going to be crossing the country with me twice, doing his massive adventure. I'm just going to be along for the ride. So anywho, chat a little bit more about that as we get down the road. I am late. I'm going to get to a breakfast meet and work for the day. Ooh, it's steamy out here. I didn't take my normal weather picture. It's hot. It's going to be really hot today. What you doing there, fella? You going to turn? You're just parking right next to a stop sign? That's proper. So it's going to be interesting logistics for Alex shipping his scooter here. I know a lot of people do it for various, trips and tours and things like that. They'll ship their cars. I don't know that I've ever worked with anyone or ridden with anyone that has shipped a motorcycle from overseas. I think from the UK and some of the other countries, it might be a little bit more common. Places that don't have, visa restrictions and stuff like that, or visa necessities, I should say, not really restrictions. He's coming from Romania, so I'm not sure what the import temporary, transport laws are. I don't know how that works with our U.S. Department of Transportation and all the insurance requirements and things like that. I'm not really sure. So I don't know. I can help him look into those things if he doesn't find his answers, but I'll let him do the legwork first and see what he comes up with. He's already got a shipping company lined up, so that's good. Somebody that they use in their motorcycle shop that does a lot of shipping said, yeah, no problem, they can send it. They can ship it. So I think the shipping is going to be the easy part. I'm not sure about the import and the tariffs, if they're anything like that. I don't know how that works. So if anybody's got any news or details on that, let me know what you think. Put some comments down below. What are you doing? If it all falls through for him on that scooter, shipping it here, then of course I've got multiple steeds that he could ride. Whether he wants a scooter, put him on the PCX 150 after I put that thing back together, of course. My Super Cub, the CT 125. There's a plethora of small bikes, and depending on how my work and finances go, I might do another bike by then. And before I get underway here, I'm going to fix my microphone in this helmet, because I remember yesterday it was goofed. I'll be right back with you. Okay, I don't know if that's going to make any difference at all, but I just kind of re-velcroed it, put it a little bit more upward and inboard away from the chin curtain. I think the chin curtain's been giving it too much noise. We'll find out. So, anywho. Hit the reverse button. At least this thing's easy to waddle back. It's not as bad as a lot of other big bikes. This thing weighs 500 pounds and change, but it's low to the ground and easy to waddle. I tried doing that with a Gold Wing or something. Oh man, those things are brutal. Ask me how I know. Anywho, so Alex could ride one of my bikes if things fall through, and you know, we'll figure out what that is. But as the plans stand now, he's going to be bringing over his scooter from Romania and riding that here. And one of my early questions to him was, what is your comfortable sustained running speed on the highways? You know, how hard do you push the scooter, how fast can it go, that kind of thing, because that will determine what I choose to ride. I want to pick something that's got roughly the same road speed and autonomy as far as fuel range as what he'll be riding. That way we're not making a bunch of staggered stops and, you know, slowing things down. And that's mostly pertinent for the trip up there and back, not so much for during the Cannonball itself, because how the Cannonball usually works out timing and grouping wise is people of similar speeds tend to ride together, and fuel range as well. So if you end up lagging behind or whatever, those other people just keep going, and then, you know, you catch them along the route. But for the most part, people are staying at roughly similar speeds, but you've got staggered ranges, let's say. You don't really ride lockstep with each other most of the day, unless you're on identical bikes like Adrian and I did back in 21. Identical Super Cubs with same trailer, same everything. So we were within 1 or 2 miles per hour of each other as far as our sustained running speeds, so it worked out. Fuel range was a little different between us, but it was close enough that it wasn't a big disparity. We had about 15 miles of range difference between us, maybe 20 in some cases, because mine was running more efficiently than his MP3. So anywho, that's the plan. So just based on knowing what his sustained speeds are, he did a video this morning. I'll link it here. He's saying that his average cruising speed is right around 55 to 57 miles an hour, I think. So he runs it right up to about 97 to 100 kilometers per hour. And it can go faster, but he doesn't usually run it beyond that. So he can run it up above 60 miles an hour, but it doesn't go past that. So with that speed in mind, I could take the CT125 and give it a Cannonball baptism, or I could take the Super Cub again, because it's going to be right there in that range. I probably won't be pulling the trailer this time, because we may be running with a dedicated support vehicle, private support vehicle. Adrian has expressed interest in going along on the 25 Cannonball as just, you know, tourist and support capacity. So if that shapes up over the next couple of months, 3 months, 4 months, then that will change our loadout considerably, because we won't have to carry everything behind us. So I wouldn't be pulling my trailer. We would be able to offload our spares, our camping gear, a lot of that stuff, to the car or SUV or truck or whatever it is that he ends up driving across the country. So we'll find out. That's going to shape up over the next couple months, I would hope. No later than firm plans 6 months prior to the Cannonball, because that's where kind of you need to get your plans solidified. It affects your logistics and your packing plans and, you know, fuel range, autonomy, all that kind of stuff. You've got to know kind of what you're going to be doing. Now, I say the plan should be nailed down. In reality, I don't plan my trip at all, but I plan the ride logistics itself. So, you know, as far as what I'll be carrying and how I'm going to be carrying those things, that is planned out and relatively etched in stone. But as far as my route goes, I don't even look. I don't care. That's part of the adventure. I just go. I just take enough extra fuel with me to not get lost between fuel stations. That's it. Ooh, it's bright. So as far as our route across the country up to Oregon, it'll be Seaside, Oregon is where the Cannonball starts. We'll probably craft our route, you know, kind of tune it, decide where we're going based on things that we want to see going across the country north. If we have particular people or places that we want to visit on the way up there, then that will adjust our path. And of course, that is also partially dependent on other people that might be joining us along the route. You know, if we need to meet up with other riders that are going up to Oregon, then, you know, depending on where they are, we might adjust our path. That way we can caravan up with them. So we'll find out. Oh God, it's hot. The way back south through the country is predetermined. That's the Cannonball route, and it'll end up in South Padre, very near SpaceX, like across the bay from SpaceX. A lot of traffic today. Slow traffic. I guess I'm gonna go. Thought that guy was going quicker than that. So from there, you know, South Padre back up to Katy or Houston area is, you know, 6-7 hour ride, full tilt. A little bit longer than that if you're going by scooter on the back roads. So, you know, I figure a day back, majority of a day anyway, 8 to 10 hours, relaxed pace. Adrian and I did that recently on the PCX 150s, last year, I guess, early last year, something like that, when we went down to watch the SpaceX launch down there, South Padre. So, Boca Chica, technically. So this will be Alex's first trip to the United States. He's never been here before. I hope that I can show him a good time, be a good host. I'm a pretty informal kind of guy. It's just, you know, I go where I go. I'm not a tour guide by any stretch of the imagination. When I get out on the road on my motorcycle trips, I just kind of wander until I get there. I know where I'm going, but I have nothing planned in the middle. I might have like a route decision, you know, like I want to take this highway or something like that. That's it. I'm not really much for traditional tourism as far as going to landmarks and busy places and things like that. I don't like crowds. I never have. So I don't go to a lot of the touristy areas. My idea of tourism is Americana. You know, you go back and tour the back roads, side highways, get lost out in the country, really soak in some scenery. That's my idea of tourism. And the Cannonball is a great way to do that because predominantly it stays off of the highways. I mean, when Dave is planning the route, he does a fantastic job, by the way. Thank you, Dave, for all the effort you put into these things. I think this one is going to be the biggest one ever. Last year was the biggest one ever, and now this one's even bigger. 300 participants is what it's being capped at right now, so it's huge, the logistics behind this, as far as the route planning and preparations and, you know, hotel selection, and yeah, it's just a monumental undertaking. So anyway, the path turns off interstates, you know, so when he's doing the planning, I'm assuming he's using Google Maps and a lot of other tools like that, and you put in, okay, I want to go from here to here, turn off the highways, turn off all the fast roads, tolls, anything that you can turn off to make it prefer back road routes. And then of course he steers it around looking for, you know, challenging roads and twisty and scenery and all that. So it's a great way to tour the country because you see all the stuff that the interstates intentionally avoid. Interstates are just about blasting the ass from one place to another. Don't stop, don't be friendly, don't say hi, get your gas and get the on the road. That's it.